Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. So happy to welcome Scott Gerber from the Ohio Swiss Festival. How many? What number is this, Scott?
Susie, this is number 67.
Oh, my goodness. That sounds about right. As a little girl growing up, if there was one thing our family never missed, it was the Ohio Swiss Festival. How about you?
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. And I think being a leader of this group and doing the same thing, growing up through it, and now being a part of it, we hear that a lot. It was, we call it the big homecoming, for a lot of families and a lot of people that put it on their radar and they want to keep coming back. And we're just blessed that happens. We're grateful.
Where all does this happen? What exact location does everything take place?
Well, with much cooperation from the village, it's always been in a downtown around our fire station area, and as it grew, we ended up taking most of the downtown area up. So from the corner of Main Street up through the area of the Broadway Street and the fire station and the community access area in the behind the fire station. It's about two city blocks that we take up in town, which, Sugar Creek's not big, but we take up a big chunk of it.
And that was my next question. How many people come to Sugar Creek during this time?
Yeah, it's estimated in the 70s. We got archival photos that probably estimate close to 100,000 now. Honestly,
goodness.
we don't get that many now, but for us to get 20, I think we've had the last couple of years, we've reached 15 to 20,000 people in that little area. So
in Sugar Creek, Ohio.
In Sugar Creek, Ohio.
How do you do it? How do you accommodate all of them?
It takes a lot of work. We meet monthly with a group of board of directors. We have over 20 directors of different aspects of the festivals, and they take charge of what they're supposed to. They dot their I's, they cross their T's. We get together once a month and hash it all out and make sure that we put on a good show for all those that are going to come and meet expectation.
They're all coming this weekend, the 27th and 28th.
Yep.
And my guess is that on the 29th, you start working on next year. Is that about right?
Yeah, we'll be thinking about it anyway. We do give the group about 2 months off, and then that gives our chance for our finances and everything to come together, and we clear our books. And yeah, about February of the following year, we'll get ready to do it again. So.
Well, let's talk about that. Before we get into everything that we can look forward to, let's give you a chance to do a shout out to all the people behind the scenes. What all happens? What's been going on since February?
Yes, obviously we have a lot of people that help behind the scenes. We back to our Facebook editors. We have a lot of people that will come forward and say, "Hey, I'd like to help out," and that, and they help us upload photos and keep it fresh. We have our entertainment, although is kind of our core. That group is led by Nikki Bowers, Deb Miller's an assistant, and Lacey Barr's an assistant. And those girls work very hard on contracts, deadlines, getting those entertainers to and from their stage on time where they're supposed to be. That's a cooperation with our barricades and our safety directors, and they make sure that we can clear our paths for those people to stay on time. We have Wine and Cheese, which has been a huge addition over the last 10 years to our Swiss Festival. That we have now outgrown our small area, and now we've taken over the entire fire station for Wine and Cheese now. And April Beachy heads that up and has done a wonderful job. It's become this new marriage, wine and cheese. So besides celebrating cheese, we can celebrate our local wineries that are in our area as much as our local cheese. So she does a phenomenal job. We get a lot of cooperation, obviously, from our mayor, Clayton Weller. Our board of directors obviously have a lot to do with our monthly meetings and where we want to go in the direction that we're heading. Newly addition just last year. We're going to bring it back for a second year. That's this play on artisan type of stuff. It's a cultural thing. It's a unique thing that's growing. And we have that available from 5 to 9 on Friday and Saturday of each night. Just trying to give it a taste. We don't want it to be the all-day affair. We're just trying to give you a taste of some of the other cultures that are in our area.
But we want to really make sure that everyone understands this is a family event.
Absolutely.
And
it's always been that way. We celebrate kiddies parades. There's a lot of rides that we have in the back, and we try to direct all that toward kids and that age group that's going to have fun. And the parades are part of that. The kiddies parade is an involvement for those children in the elementary ages to bring their pets, their goldfish, their scooter, their hamster, whatever you can, bring it in our parade on a Friday afternoon. They get school. That's unique to Garaway, our local area, that they get the school day off. And so that helps us. That helps us a lot.
Who can be in the parade?
In that kiddie parade, anybody in our local area can participate in that. Obviously, it's our local Garaway School District that's a part of that. But we've had other people that have joined in just because there's an interest for it, a granddaughter or something.
Considering it's 3 days away, is it too late for someone to say, I'd like to be in the parade? Is it something you jump in, or is it something you register for ahead?
Yeah, we're fortunate to have our PDFs all online. You go to OhioSwissFestival.com, and you'll be able to download and get your own registration put in. And if you can simply send that back, scan it back to the Ohio Swiss Festival Gmail account.
Awesome.
We can get all that hooked up or drop it off at our local museum in town. We make sure that all those forms get put where they need it.
I'm thinking there are some grandparents who have grandchildren coming to visit for the weekend who would love to be in that parade, so it's not too late, right?
No, it's not too late. Even in our grand parade, we try to take them up to the last minute, and there's a registration for that. That parade's 2 o'clock on Saturday, and we're always looking for a novel idea that somebody wants to bring in and put.
Who's in the grand parade?
The grand parade, it can be any. We have an antique section of it. We have some tractors. I got a tractor group coming of the garden tractor variety. Of course, we like to encourage bands. We've challenged to get some bands in our area to do that. There'll be several floats come in. They'll bring we bring in and out the past queen, the former queen, and the present queen, which that crowning will be Thursday. So we try to get a variety of entries into that parade, and usually it's about 100 units. That's
beautiful.
A good parade. Yeah,
oh my,
that's a good parade.
How fun! And that starts what time on Saturday again?
Saturday it'll be 2 o'clock. We always did the antique version just before about 1:50, but you'll want to get a seat before that because the streets fill up. They go 4 or 5 deep on the streets. So.
You mentioned the people who work so hard throughout the year securing entertainers. So tell us what entertainers we can look forward to.
Yeah, as always, we have always allowed it's free entertainment, and the only thing you're out is maybe a couple bucks to park your car, but just about everything else that you'll hear or see is free. Of course, we promote the vendors and the local churches to do that, but on the entertainment side, we have Polka, which is kind of our staple. We have a pavilion that we've invested in cement. We encourage dancing. There's a lot of times that shelter, it's under roof, you're out of the sun, and they will be dancing most of the day on Saturday at that, we call it the pavilion stage, which is behind the fire station. And that's where we'll have Joey Tomzik. He's a mainstay. That's been there a long time. North Coast Mix is a polka band. Mon Valley Push is another kind of new polka band. And Frank Moravik, he has a big following. He'll bring a couple buses of people that want to hear his music, dance to his music. And we have 2 stages, one at Main Street and one at the fire station behind there. And we'll try to put them in at least a couple times a day so you can hear that music throughout. And then on the off hours of the festival, we'll bring some alternative in just to, we know that we have to be fresh. We know that we have to have another set of audience come in and they want to hear other things. And we try to do that as well as entertainment. The girls have to work hard, not just for those 2 stages throughout the whole day, Friday and Saturday. They work on getting the entertainers for the wine and cheese, which we also offer acoustical or duets, duos for the wine and cheese, and that's a really nice atmosphere that you can go in, listen to your favorite.
Just some background music.
Yeah, some background music. Sometimes we
kind of
find,
sounds like the old Swisters.
yeah, a little bit, and we've been doing that for about the last 10 years now. So
Polka music. Where do you get to go to hear it? It's thank goodness you're doing this, because I remember growing up, Polka Varieties was always on after church while we were waiting for Mom to make dinner. But where do you get to hear fun polka music other than the Ohio Swiss Festival?
Well, I'm not sure other festivals. Maybe there's those that they call Oktoberfest, but 67 years ago we were celebrating cheese and Swiss style, the Swiss cheese making.
Yes.
So polka got into the area. I think you can go to Cleveland and some local burgs, and there's still some, you can almost call it cult-like. It's a culture that's up there that is still trying to keep polka music alive, and we're blessed with the entertainment that we still find.
It's so fun and
fun.
just very uplifting, and who can't smile when you're hearing polka music?
Yeah.
How about costumes? Is everybody dressed accordingly?
Well, we support that, and we're trying to revamp our village hall. They have the Swiss vest for the male. For the men, if they want to participate in it, we encourage all our businesses to dress that week in Swiss attire. The dresses can be a little expensive for the women, but we have actually come aboard in the last couple of years a lady that loves the Swiss culture, loves it, and she's termed the Swisstress. She's our Swisstress, and she has a passion for the dresses, and we're trying to get more and more. I think more and more women are coming alive to get back into that, where we want to celebrate the outfit of this traditional Swiss outfit. So.
I do know of a family that they have passed on the garb from one generation down to the next, and the ones that they wear are original from like grandparents. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's very cool, and I think that's where this homecoming and this tradition of the Swiss Festival still is so alive still. When the weather's nice, we just hear very good stories about people traveling 3-4 hours to come to it. So I think that's, when the weather's good, we get rewarded with good turnouts. Obviously, when it rains, that's an outdoor event. That's part of the deal sometimes.
I've been to it both ways.
Yeah.
And you just put on your rain gear and enjoy it just the same.
Yeah.
How do you do all this for free, Scott?
Well, obviously the festival, everybody that's on the grounds, it's a many hands make light work. The festival has been fortunate with our sponsors. That keeps our costs down with donations, and obviously with good crowds and good entertainment, which draws the crowds. It's a payoff. Obviously, we don't make it all on parking because we don't have that much. But the vendors all have a percentage that they kick back. It's an orchestrated event, a percentage based on everybody's growth that weekend. And the festival has, in 5 years running now, we have made a profit, which that's not all what we're about, but it helps keep the wheel moving, and we've
helps
done
it start
very
for
well.
the next year. Good seed money for the following year.
It's very good.
Before we break, you said the word parking. Where do you suggest we park?
Well, there's designated parking in different areas, and if you go down Factory Street, there's locations. If you go down 3rd Street in Sugar Creek, there's designated areas. And if going down those 2 streets, they will forward you to the different areas. We think we have about approximately 900 spots available from here and there that are paid. Obviously, we don't pay if you have to go further out on the grounds. But there is free parking available, but you're just getting further and further away from the event. Another nice addition, probably the last 10 years that we've added, is courtesy carts. And we have a radio system, and we designate the parking lots by color code. And those parking attendants that will call radio for you for a courtesy cart, and we try to have 5 or 6 or 7 of those running all day long. So that's
Nice.
another advantage. And for those that can't get around as much, we try to promote come, and we'll try to help you.
Nice.
So.
Very nice. Getting excited. It's coming up soon. We're visiting with Scott Gerber, talking about the Swiss Festival coming up this weekend. Stay with us. You're listening to Our Community.